now.
Mother Nature is hitting North Mississippi with a 1-2 punch. Columbus and Burnsville were hit by tornadoes Saturday, and several other areas are dealing with flooding. WCBI's Allie Martin spent the day in Monroe County and talks with residents and county leaders who are just trying to keep their heads above water.
Heather Loden met her husband and other family members near Bigby Baptist Church to deliver plumbing supplies and food. Usually Loden would drive the items to her home, but flooded roads mean a boat is needed to actually get to the house.
I think there's 8 people down there that had to stay. They're having to pump water out and just keep things under control.
For other residents of Bigby Bottom, a tractor was needed to make the trip to and from the flooded area. Sonny Clay is road manager for Monroe County and says heavy rains across the entire region hit the county especially hard.
This one has been entirely different because of the water coming down the waterway out of Lee County. Normally, if we get just the rain through Monroe County, the lock and dams will suck the water on out of here pretty quick, and we'll see it fall much quicker than it has here.
Although the waters are receding, there are some areas that are still impassable. I'm standing right now on Bigby Road. It's one of several areas that county crews haven't been able to get to make damage assessments.
We've got this area here in the Bigby area where we're at now, and we've got several areas up and down the waterway itself within a mile, half a mile of the waterway, where the water's still over the roads, flooded from the waterway, that we hadn't been able to get into. And we are getting some calls from them wanting to know how they go about getting help, and we just told them to hold patient.
Those damage estimates are vital, Clay says, so the county can be eligible for state and federal funds to help clean up the damage. In Monroe County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Clay hopes crews will be able to start making damage assessments on the remaining roads by Tuesday. A portion of Guntown's Main Street is closed but could be repaired soon. Now, the heavy rains washed out a culvert on Guntown's Main Street. There are no businesses in that immediate area, but there are several homes. A portion of that street is closed, but there are alternate routes for motorists. The city's public works director says there have been issues with the culvert before, but the steady, heavy rains were just too much.
Just the excessive rain that we've had. I mean, we've had, like 10 inches in a week's time, and there's the culvert that was there. It was marginal about it being able to take the amount of water that was coming down anyway, and we've had a little problem with it back in the early spring. It washed out a little place there, and they repaired it, but it got it all this time.
Wood says once a culvert has been delivered, it should only take a day to have a portion of Main Street repaired and then back open. Well, even though their building has been destroyed, a Columbus church is counting its blessings. First Pentecostal Church was hit hard by Saturday's tornado. Quentin Smith, he speaks with their pastor. He now joins us live in the studio. Hey, Quentin.
Scott, church members say the tornado might have destroyed the church, but it didn't destroy their faith. Over 100 members came out to the church, and they had Sunday service outside in the parking lot. Members say the storm isn't keeping them from their praise and worship. This is all that is left of First Pentecostal Church in Columbus. Caution tape surrounds the debris that's scattered everywhere and the damage that was left behind after Saturday's tornado.
My first reaction was just unbelief, because when we turned and come down the road, we saw all the devastation in the front and nothing what I expected it to be.
Pastor Steve Blaylock has been leading the church for more than 2 decades. Despite being shocked and stunned after all of the destruction that Mother Nature left behind, Blaylock says he knew he couldn't let that stop him, nor his congregation, from coming together for Sunday morning service.
We wanted to have a prayer time also, a prayer service. And Sunday was supposed to be a baptism day, so I called some of the people that were supposed to be baptized about, you know, if they wanted to wait or we could get a portable. They said, well, if we can get a portable, let's just do it.
And that's exactly what they did. More than 100 members showed up for service, and a total of 9 people were baptized just hours after the storm hit on Saturday, showing that their faith is stronger than any storm that life may bring.
God says that all things work together for good to them who are called to the purpose. Doesn't mean all things are going to be good. It just means whatever bad happens, He can work that for your good.
However, that wasn't the only miraculous thing that happened on Sunday. Out of everything that was destroyed, Pastor Blaylock says the only two things that were unharmed was the church's prayer room, which contained a soldier wearing the full armor of God, as well as his Bible podium. Church members say it's a sign showing that the Lord truly does work in mysterious ways.
The podium did not move a single inch, not a centimeter. It is not nailed down. It is not screwed down. We have moved it many of times.
Some people may call it a coincidence. I think God's letting us know everything's going to be all right.
Now, Pastor Blaylock says they will continue to have praise and worship service outdoors as long as the weather permits it. He also says the church does plan to rebuild. Scott?
All right, thank you very much, Quentin. Well, the American Red Cross, they're already set up. Now, you can register at the shelter at the Townsend Community Center. That's on 15th Street. Food, supplies, and resources are there. The shelter also provides breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, there's also counselors on site if anyone needs to talk or just ask questions. The organization says it will be in town as long as needed and will serve meals through Sunday. Well, time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson, who's standing by with a first look at our forecast. Hey there, Keith.
Hey, Scott, right now, nice and quiet out there. No issues whatsoever. We have a live Doppler radar here. No rain on that. That's certainly good news. There have been some clouds. It looks like we've had some rain trying to fall in our area today. The air's pretty dry, so we haven't seen any. All of that clustered along the Gulf Coast, and that's where we need it to be after how wet it's been. So lows tonight ranging from the upper 30s in the north, lower 40s in the south. For our Tuesday, back into the mid-60s. Decent start, but clouds will be on the increase, Scott. Maybe a stray shower or two, but overall a decent day for us. The full forecast is coming up.
In other news today, the Democratic side of the ballot for the governor's race is starting to shape up and fill up. And there's some history between two of the candidates that could make the race really interesting. Courtney Jackson has the latest.
There are now 4 candidates who will appear on the Democratic primary ballot for governor. The latest addition to the list is Hinds County District Attorney Robert Schuler-Smith, who filed his papers Friday.
Excited for people to have another choice, and people should have choices and not someone who presumes to dominate a party. Because that's not the case, and it should not be the case.
It can't be ignored that Robert Schuler-Smith and Jim Hood have a history, and that's not lost on the analyst.
What makes Robert Schuler-Smith's entry into this race interesting is it seems to be a political element of this and perhaps a personal element to this.
Hood's office has unsuccessfully tried Schuler-Smith 3 times for robbery, stalking, and hindering prosecution. Now Schuler-Smith is saying those cases motivated him to take the step and run against Hood.
If there was a civil rights investigation today, I can almost say, based on my experience, that I would be that much closer to being the governor of Mississippi.
Schuler-Smith says he'll work to encourage people to know the power of their vote. Still, Millsap's political science professor Nathan Schrader thinks there are still plenty of questions about the implications of his candidacy.
Some of the questions I'm thinking of now really for this campaign: where will he go for votes? How much money will he be able to raise to be competitive in all 82 counties? And how do you counteract Jim Hood, who is kind of his own brand in Mississippi Democratic politics?
The deadline for candidates to file qualifying papers for statewide office is this Friday, March 1st. Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Here's our Off Insurance Camera Network in Columbus and Louisville, Mississippi, Vernon there, West Alabama, Durham's Pharmacy, Tupelo, all quiet here on our Monday night. What's in store for the next 7 days? We'll let you know after the break.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Lots of rain over the last week plus. Since February 16th, over 15 inches of rain in Grenada, Oxford over 14, Tupelo over 13, almost 14 inches of rain, Eupora nearly a foot of rain, Starkville over 6 inches, Columbus around 6 inches, so no doubt there's been some flooding. The water has to go somewhere, a lot of that going into the Tenn-Tom waterway right here, and we still have those flood warnings in place. And let's just see what's going on. Amory, things are dropping quickly. It looks like we are going to be below flood stage there around Amory by Thursday, so something to look forward to in a couple of days. At the Stanislaus Dam in Columbus, maybe by Wednesday afternoon, things dropping below flood stage. We crested this morning. We've been teetering around that crest during the day, and now we are starting that descent. It's going to take some time here, but just give it some time, and all of this water will be surging to the south. The Luxapalila, again, hovering there over the last couple of hours, below flood stage there by Wednesday, so we're about at crest right now. And at the Bevel Lock and Dam, you are still rising, all that water flowing southward, and it will continue to peak here in the near term, and then it looks like it's going to take a while, maybe by Friday night or Saturday morning, to get below flood stage. And by the weekend, we should be home free as far as flooding in our area. That's great news. The rain now down to our south. We've had a blanket of clouds in our area this afternoon. Some upper level moisture just couldn't reach the ground. We have this west to east jet stream pattern. That just means a couple of weaker disturbances in the next couple of days here. So clouds build back in. We'll see some sun, but more clouds than sun probably going forward. Some rain chances here, seasonably mild, 60s. Some spots will get to around 70. Right now we are cooling down into the 40s in many spots in our area. Lows die down into the 30s and 40s. Tomorrow we get back into the low 60s by noon, mid 60s in the afternoon. Maybe a lot of sunshine initially, but by the afternoon we are thinking that clouds will be on the increase, and there will be a slight chance for a shower or two, especially across the southern areas, but just don't bank on it. Most of us will have a dry day on Tuesday, and that's certainly a good thing to have. Another dry day, the third dry day in a row, we'll take it, with temperatures in the 60s, so not too bad for us. So you can see with Futurecast, this disturbance moving away from us. There's that quiet start to our day tomorrow. Clouds build in, there may be a shower or two, and same story as we get into your Wednesday, an opportunity for a shower or two. But I think as we go into Thursday, a slightly better chance for rain, maybe by Sunday too. By the weekend, we lose the 60s, get into the 50s by Saturday, trending colder, maybe only 40s by Sunday and Monday, Scott.
Well, students at Saltillo Primary School are learning about the adventures of reading and getting in some exercise. It is Read Across America Week, and guest readers are coming in to read to the students. Now, the national observance coincides with the birthday of the man pretty much everybody knows as Dr. Seuss. Now, the school's librarian says it is rewarding to see students develop a love for reading at an early age.
I love that they're constantly coming in here checking out a new book because they finished the other one and they're ready to learn and read another one.
As you see there, our Allie Martin, he read The Cat in the Hat, and he'll be back there on Thursday. The Bulldog Nation is coming together to help one of its youngest members. Courtney has that story coming up a little later in sports. Welcome back. We hear it all the time from our mothers, even our doctors, eating a heart-healthy diet. We learn more tonight in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Brianna Cooper, a clinical dietitian at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. What is a heart-healthy diet? A heart-healthy diet includes low fat, low cholesterol, and low sodium. In tonight's edition of Health Talk with Baptist, we will discuss fats. There are several different types of fats: saturated, unsaturated, and trans. Saturated fats are known as bad fats and are found in whole milk, cream, and butter. They are also found in fatty meats such as ground beef, bacon, sausage, hot dogs, ribs, and ribeye steaks. Trans fats are also known as bad fats. Trans fats are found in stick margarine, shortening, fried foods, and some bakery items. Unsaturated fats are known as good fats and are found in canola and soybean oils. These fats provide omega-3 fatty acids, which may reduce the risk of heart disease. Some tips for reducing fat intake include: drain the fat off meat after cooking, remove the skin from poultry before cooking, and use healthier oils when cooking. Select cuts of meats ending in round and loin. Triglycerides are another form of fat in your blood. High levels of triglycerides increase your risk of heart disease. To control your triglyceride levels, follow these tips. Get plenty of physical activity, limit intake of sugary foods and drinks, limit alcohol intake, and choose fats wisely. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we will discuss cholesterol.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle.
Area high school teams putting in work with hopes of advancing to the Big House. Playoff basketball highlights are coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
A month ago, our Scott Martin did a story on Mason Murphy, the one-year-old with MDS and the son of MSU safety Marcus Murphy. If you remember, Mason needs a bone marrow donor match, and Mississippi State Athletics is working to find him one.
You could be someone's only genetic match. It's a sign that greeted Bulldog fans entering into the Humphrey Coliseum for some weekend basketball.
Be the Match is the National Bone Marrow Registry, so we exist to help patients that have a blood cancer or immune disorder, and we connect those patients with donors who are willing to donate their life-saving blood stem cells.
One of those patients being Mason Murphy, a member of the Mississippi State family. The Bulldogs have teamed up with Be the Match to raise awareness and hopefully find Mason and others a donor.
Coach Moorhead rallied up an entire troop of folks to just have more awareness with Be the Match. And I know a lot of folks actually entered the registry then last year, and so we want to do a follow-up now and actually have Be the Match on site to hopefully rally some support and get some more entries into the registration.
Registering to be a donor is also easier than it seems, even if it's not done in person.
All it takes is a simple text message. You can text right here to State Saves at 614-74 to join, and it's a 5-minute process that could potentially save someone's life.
The cancer like this, where all you need is someone to donate bone marrow and they're cured, it's amazing. And we just need to find someone to donate, and they're out there somewhere.
Bulldogs are a family, and so that's one thing that does not surprise any of us is the reaction that our family has shown, the Marcus and his son Mason and Alicia the mom. So it's been pretty cool to see Bulldog Nation really rally around them.
There are patients all over the country just like him, and so that's why we just encourage everyone to join. You just never know, what you may have in you that is going to help someone else.
Now, in order to sign up, you must be at least 18 years old. Once registered, you will receive a cotton swab kit to send back with your DNA, and if selected as a match, all expenses are covered. You can learn more at bethematch.org and find out more about Mason on MSU's website. Let's head to Hamilton, a packed gym there for the quarterfinal matchup between Hamilton and McAdams. The Lady Lions, Amaya Werner extended it even more with the 2-point lay-in to put them up 27-15. The Bulldogs with the ball now off the fast break looking to score, but Victoria Harrison swats it away with ice in her veins. The first half winding on down. Alexis Ware tries to get her shot to go. It won't, but rebound city for Deidre Keaton. She gets the putback and also gets the and one bucket. The Lady Lions dominate in this one. They get the win 77-47 over the Bulldogs. Next up, Hamilton heads to the 1A semifinals. We go to Houston as the Hilltoppers take on Water Valley in the second round of the playoffs. Fourth quarter, Houston up 4. Keyshawn Bynum catches the ball on the wing and knocks the 3 down to put them up 7 with less than 2 remaining. Toppers ball again. Keyshawn Bynum on the fast break gives it to Zay Ivy for the layup. And the Toppers are leading by 12. Water Valley playing tough to the end, though. They force this turnover, and they would get the and one bucket while they're at it. But Houston was too much tonight as Shemar Crawford finishing the deal with 3 to close the game. Houston goes on to get the win. The final score, Houston 85, Water Valley 72. Now let's head over to Starkville, where the Yellow Jackets are taking out South Haven in the 6A quarterfinals. First quarter, Jackets strike on the fast break as they put in this floater to tie up the game. And now the Jackets leading by 4. The pick and roll action here sets up Trey Ball. It would be good and puts the Jackets up by 7. Then later in the first, the Jackets force in a turnover here, and Jeremy Tate gets the loose ball, goes coast to coast, and finishes right at the rim with the layup. Starkville would go on to be your winners for this evening. They advance to the semis. The final score 79, South Haven 54. That's it for sports. Have a great rest of your evening. Your last look is coming up next.
Back into the 60s on Tuesday, Scott. A chance for a shower or two. Most spots stay dry. For Wednesday, a few more clouds, a little bit warmer. Again, there could be a few showers around. Maybe a better chance for rain Thursday, we're thinking. Perhaps Sunday as well. Trending cooler this weekend, so enjoy the next couple of days. Seasonably mild, 60s, maybe around 70, but it will be a little bit cooler by the weekend.
So a cool start for the start of March. March is Friday or Saturday, right?
March 1st, Friday.
Friday,
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, and it's crazy. Wow. February's
The
gone.
year is fastly advancing, I know, right?
Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.